Biliyorum şara.
Sahip.
So that's a hospital, not a military base, a hospital. Doctors inside, patients inside, families inside. And today, it's rubble.
I mean, we just have to pause. I mean, I literally have chills when I see something like that because, before we talk about the whole geopolitics and before we talk about missiles and retaliation, we've got to talk about who's actually dying right now with this war that has been started.
I'm Dr. Haydée Brown.
And I'm Dr. Sonya Sloan.
And we are AYA, Black and Brown Women Disruptors in Healthcare and Beyond. Today, we're looking at the escalating conflict involving Iran, Israel, and the United States. But we're asking a different question. Not who wins, not who strikes first, but who pays the price.
And it's not always who you think. So recent military strikes involving the United States and Israel have targeted Iranian military infrastructure. And so Iran has now retaliated with missiles and drone strikes across the region. And so the fear now, escalation into the border and outlying regional area and becoming a regional war, something bigger than anyone anticipated. But behind every strategic briefing, every political statement, and every military map, there's something else that we really have to look at, you guys. And that's the civilian toll.
The World Health Organization reports that at least 13 hospitals and health facilities in Iran have been struck since the conflict escalated. Medical workers injured, patients killed, emergency care disrupted.
And so as physicians, we really do understand, and we want people to understand something, that when hospitals are bombed, people don't just die from the explosion, you guys. They die from the whole system collapsing. So that's people that have a heart attack. They can't go in and get treated. Dialysis stops. That means their body is overloaded with potassium and they eventually die. That means emergency surgeries that could possibly save lives disappear. And childbirth, can you imagine in the middle of a war trying to have a child? So war doesn't just kill people. It destroys the system that keeps those people alive.
And the hospital is not the only civilian place that was hit, right? Reports indicate that a girls' elementary school in Minab, Iran was struck, killing more than 160 children.
So now we've got hospitals and schools now being involved. So you got hospitals becoming a target, you got schools becoming a target, and these are innocent people. They're not really part of this war, right? The argument about moral authority collapses when you start bombing hospitals and schools, right? Because once a child is dying in a classroom, no one gets to claim the moral high ground anymore, you guys.
And Dr. Sloan, we really have to confront something that's incredibly uncomfortable. Gaza, Ukraine, Sudan, Congo, bombed neighborhoods, collapsed hospitals, children pulled from rubble, children dying, cities leveled, families displaced, and for years, the world has just watched and adjusted
to horrible atrocities, right? Mass atrocities, famine as a weapon, millions displaced. And the Democratic Republic of Congo, decades of conflict, sexual violence as a tool of war, you guys, unheard of. And children conscripted as soldiers, children.
And slowly something dangerous has happened. We've become desensitized.
And that's the tragedy. That's what's happening to the world. We have to stop, because when tragedies in Gaza and the Ukraine and then Sudan, then it's Congo and again, and it's all over the world. And the world just keeps going. We keep scrolling.
But we're not scrolling today. Children dying in the Ukraine is not acceptable. Children dying in the Sudan is not acceptable. Children dying in Gaza is not acceptable. Children dying in Iran is not acceptable. Children dying anywhere is not acceptable. And here's the public health truth. Modern war kills twice.
Yeah. Modern war. That's crazy that we even are talking about this right now. It's a public health crisis, though, is what people don't realize. First is the direct violence, right? And then secondly, it's the infrastructure that collapses and falls. Water systems collapse, electricity and power plants are attacked, healthcare, like hospitals, collapse, sanitation, gone. And then mortality rises long after the bombs stop, you guys.
And there's a third layer, right, that gets ignored, the environmental impact. So, military activity that drives measurable changes in your air quality, environmental conditions, and that's linked to respiratory illnesses, heat stress, food insecurity. War doesn't just destroy cities, it poisons the environment people must survive in after the bombings. And war doesn't just happen overseas, right? These wars begin in homes, at dinner tables, in the moments that families are saying goodbye. Let's roll the next clip.
The hypocrisy. I mean, we just have to take a sigh if it's not for a tear, because we're frustrated and all of America is overwhelmed. The world is overwhelmed, right? So looking at this moment, this is a teenager that a family is hugging, they're dealing with their fears, their pride, and the dread all at once. And here's what the data tells us about who actually serves versus being dragged off to a concentration camp, immigration camp. Dr. Haydée.
Just give me a second to process that video.
I know.
Let's talk about who serves in the U.S. military. The U.S. military includes about 2.86 million people worldwide. About 1.3 million are active duty service members, and the average age of the active duty soldier is just 28 and a half years old.
And these are young people. So my tears are for the empathy. I can feel what that parent feels. I mean, I may not never know it, and I pray to God I don't. But these young people are going off to machines of war, and Latino Americans play a major role. In key branches, the Latinos are overrepresented in our military. And in 2023, Latino troops made up 27.7% of Marine Corps. So higher than their 19.4% of the share of the population in the United States. So that's not necessarily fairly or equally distributed.
Right. So as that graphic shows, Latinos, my brothers and sisters, are overrepresented in the Marine Corps. Yeah. We're overrepresented in the military overall, in the combat heavy branches. And that's what many Americans don't realize. While service members themselves are legally present in the United States, their family members sometimes are not. About 80,000 undocumented spouses and parents of U.S. service members live in the United States. Nearly half are from Latin American countries.
Yeah, I'm just overwhelmed right now. I really am. So, which that means these soldiers can serve in a uniform while their families at home are at the threat of deportation. What is the hypocrisy here that America has? It's crazy. So there's this one case of Narcisco Barnaco, a Mexican father of three U.S. Marines. And he was arrested outside of an IHOP in California in 2025. But you guys, he's lived here since 1990, and now he faces deportations. But his sons are literally giving their life for this country. That's not right.
And that's it, right? These arrests actually aren't of the bad people, the bad hombres, right? 73, almost 74% of the people that are in ICE detention actually have no criminal conviction at all.
Sacrifice on one side, suspicion on the other. It's stupid. It's actually chaotic and disruptive. And I think that's the point of what is trying to go on with this current political climate. And now we come back to why we started this whole thing, why we talk about the hospital bombings, the schools that are being destroyed, the children that are being killed. As children and as moms, we see this destruction. As healthcare providers, we see this destruction. And it aches our hearts. It brings tears. It's been hard to watch news this week because we're all just overwhelmed and we feel helpless.
Yeah. Once children are dying in hospitals and classrooms, no nation gets to claim moral authority. You guys, destroyed health systems don't just bounce back in a week.
Yeah.
Hospitals, workforce, supply chains, clean water. These are not a flip a switch systems, right? These are not flip a switch systems. That harm, it lasts for years, often decades. And again, no nation gets to claim moral authority. Not governments, not militaries, not political leaders.
Not anyone, because at this point, that moral authority can't build another child. They can't bring those dead kids back. So you've seen a different side of us today, and I think it surprised us as well.
Yeah.
But we're praying for this nation, whatever your faith is, but more importantly, your voice does count. It does matter. So keep speaking up.
Yeah. Because, war really reveals a country's priorities,
Yeah.
who is protected, who is expendable, and whose sacrifice is expected, right? Who is fighting? Who's getting detained here on stateside?
Yeah. And hospitals shouldn't be battlegrounds, you guys. That's not a battlefield. That's supposed to be your help. It's supposed to be trustworthy. Schools shouldn't be targets, and families should never have to fear for both war abroad and raids at their home.
So we're not going to normalize this.
Yeah.
We're not going to scroll past it.
Yeah.
And we're not going to pretend that there's moral clarity in slaughtering children and sending our kids off to war. This is Aya. We are proud contributors of the MeidasTouch Network and proud members of the Meidas Mighty. Please subscribe, like, share, and follow, and make sure that you keep the truth really loud. Thank you.
Stay loud.
Want to stay plugged in? Become a subscriber to our Substack at MeidasPlus.com. You'll get daily recaps from Ron Filipkowski, ad-free episodes of our podcast, and more exclusive content only available at MeidasPlus.com.